Feeling good. Just that I honestly don't have I believe anyone to really talk with about this. My wife gave me the I love you but not in love with you statement a few weeks ago and stopped intimacy. It's been incredibly tough for me to deal with as it has been for countless others. A brief history on me to add some context and not seek empathy. Tough childhood riddled with poverty, parents, and physical, emotional abuse. Mother tried to kill me. I am somewhat estranged from my parents, studied like crazy, got a full scholarship, and got out. Fast forward and I met my wife around age 27. Got married and she wanted to work part-time but mainly stay at home with the kids and raise them. Okay, but then our babysitting situation fell through and she had to quit, so we were strapped for cash. Recession hit and I worked my ass off to make more money. Volunteered for toughest roles. It was so bad I recall my wife calling me one day asking if we had enough money in the bank to make the mortgage. From childhood my fear of poverty was awful, so I threw everything I had into providing for my family. And yes, I was extremely stressed and developed an even shorter fuse and also became withdrawn. On Thanksgiving, for example, the family would sit at the table and talk for hours, and I would make my way to the couch and sit alone and watch TV. I needed to retreat. My short fuse, I should add, didn't end with physical abuse on my family or anything, but I would yell a lot and really sweat the small stuff. Get pissed about house not being clean, etc. Anyways, I didn't ever stop doing special things for the wife though. Always told her I loved her, brought home random gifts, spent what money I could on her, wrote notes, everything I could. Always has a new car in the driveway for her. Work just got worse, and as work got worse my fuse and withdrawing did. I love my wife and won't badmouth her, never call HR names or curse at her, but she did her own nasty things as well. Like insult me, complain how her life sucks with staying home with the kids, and also make fun of me, to be honest. She also told me she was withdrawing more as she is always exhausted, and in truth she is going through early menopause. So, I worked harder so she could get help and really felt awful that I was making ends meet to let her stay home, but life sucked so bad for her. I also felt that I took my vows and was going to honor them. If her withdrawing was due to medical reasons, and that is how life is, I will make the best of it. A little more history. I am also a volunteer fireman, was always an athlete, a good one I might add, and in great shape. Recently, before my wife told me this, I saved several people that were in a horrific situation. It was really bad and we were short-handed, so a lot was on me. It was early in the morning, and after the call I came home and just sat there as no one was awake yet. I should add that my wife kicked me out of bed a long time ago due to my snoring. But she recently told me that was not the only reason. I took it all in, the woman screaming for my help, the blood, the danger. Just sat there and a calm came over me after that. I felt like a failure for so long, couldn't make enough money, couldn't solve my wife's exhaustion, couldn't make her happy with her life. But the depression just went away. The anger was gone. I was honestly happy again. Felt worthy. And then I got slammed with the statement a week or so later. Work is also less stressed, I might add, as I finally made it and make serious money, and we can do everything we wanted now. I no longer sit there and not want people over or not socialize, as I don't have to stress as much financially. But now I am in limbo. She says she needs time to think and distance with me not being all over her or lovey as I normally am. We talk so much now, make eye contact, and she walks around the house scantily clad from time to time. Just really not sure how to proceed. I believe in life that what you exude is contagious. Hence, if I exude love, passion, and happiness to my wife, it will return. And in truth I was so happy. But now it is awkward at times, and to be honest my heart is broken and I feel pain like I haven't felt since our son passed away, another tragic event we had to cope with during our marriage. But I am not letting it bring me down. I don't let her see the pain anymore, and I am trying to make the best of it. Comments. Oh boy. Quite often the I love you, but I'm not in love with you speech indicates that the partner giving the speech is cheating. So, you might want to look into that. Dude, she's making eye contact, she's talking to you a lot, and she's walking around scantily clad. Do you really need a stranger to tell you what to do with your talkative, eye-contacting, scantily clad wife? Opportunity is knocking and you're not answering the door because you're withdrawn on the couch. OP responds, it's funny, actually, not withdrawn on the couch and never was at home. Participating and tried old ways but kicked to the curb. Just weird. Was never withdrawn from her. If anything, I am way more affectionate. Think she is just playing some mind games. Like see if he checks me out. But when he touches me or goes to touch me, I need my space. I tried to be as concise as I could be in the opening of the thread, but I know my problem was that I became too rough, let's say, and would get pissed at everything, and in her words controlling, and made her feel less equal. I got jealous because in truth actions she took made me think and pissed me off. But you are so right on the other things about no relationship talk and stuff. You see, although I was rough, I always bought flowers, random gifts, did things around the house, cooked, cleaned, whatever, and repaired the things I would smash from time to time. So now naturally, since she is upset, I ramped it up a little as I feel bad. And of course, as I have done that, and have changed my behaviors since the accident. Prior to her giving me the statement, she told me straight out that it is having the opposite effect and to stop. She questions the sincerity. All things that I read would happen. But I tell you it is hard, being a man of action, to sit back and not do anything. They tell us all the time in the fire service that one day you will have to sit there and let something burn. It will be impossibly hard not to take action, but you need to. It's a weird spot to be in. So, for now, any thoughts on the best course of action? We do sit and talk and make intense eye contact, like where we stare at each other straight in the face for what seems like forever. I plan to still be polite and have basic conversations, like how was your day, but don't want to further push her away. So, quick update. Have taken some professional and layman advice which I appreciate on both ends. Things have gotten way better in the past few weeks. I have tried to my utmost to practice patience and respect her space as well as remain calm, which has actually been really easy since I saved those folks back in August. As opposed to my normal self who would just pick up my wife and carry her like a caveman, or tell her how beautiful she is regularly. She's a model. It's really hard for me not to. Seriously, I have been all business but not in a cold sort of way. In turn, she has actually come around to me and now initiates conversation, sits and watches TV with me, etc. I don't believe that there is another man, but I do believe that someone was whispering in her head about how bad I was and to move along to be happy. In truth, I did give her crap about things I thought were reasonable, but with the stress of work and stuff probably did go overboard. My personality got amplified and not in the best way. I am aggressive, disciplined, and a perfectionist, maybe the German in me, and hold a high bar for myself and others. I can be cold, rough, and non-sympathetic, and I realize that is fine around the guys, but with the women not so much. It has been really hard to change, but so far so good. One thing though that does tick me off is that I have always been tough and independent, and never need help from her unless I am totally incapacitated, like after surgery. But I recently had some medical tests done that of course can be nothing or indicate I have some serious issues. Given my high-protein diet and creatine supplementation, they came back a little wacky and I have to go for additional analysis. Not once did she ask about the test and the results. I know she forgot, especially now given our issues, but this is how it has always been. And in truth, everyone tends to treat me that way given my stature and personality. He's fine, he doesn't need help, he's a man, actual quote from my FD officer during a call, but with the family I take it as disrespectful and uncaring. We'll see, as they say, that which does not finish me only makes me stronger. I did a lot of investigation but did not get into it here for various reasons. All of the basics checked out. The cell phone is locked up with fingerprint security for good reason and I don't access her accounts. Been toying with a pie but still thinking about it. Personally, sounds like one of the girlfriends was whispering in her ear, but you never know for sure unless you go deep. As an update, to be honest, things are going well and I have been practicing a lot of what my coach has been saying. Even keeled, not needy, give space, etc. I'm shocked that it actually is working. Here comes my pity party, lol. But the hardest thing for me, right now as I type, is that I just came back from 3 alarms back to back to back. One was serious and another could have been sitting alone as everyone is still asleep. I started at 4 a.m. It is really hard to think my wife and I did not say I love you before bed as we normally would, and I could have died. Tough not to give her a hug when she gets up soon, as that just washes away the stress I just went through. We are so close to that point again and I can see it in her eyes and actions. Just hard. Oh well. Going to take my pre-workout and toss around some iron. GPS and play. May deploy VAR. Purchased. No minutes for real calls on the cell. Seems to be all text. Called cell company won't set me up without account owner permission. Online account is already set up and she have alerts about logging in from an unusual device. Also, will press the wireless bill after Thanksgiving, as you are right. Nothing to hide, should be no issues. No need to ruin the holiday for the kids, although in truth this is eating at me. Trying to keep a good face but not easy. Everyone can tell I am not myself. Struck me the other day at work as someone came up to me and asked if I was okay as I looked sad. Just told my wife that she will see in the next bill a charge for my counseling. Coaching. She flipped, asked how long I had been going for and why I didn't think it was important to tell her. Also, she said, I don't know who you are. In truth, I always poo-pooed counseling, coaching, as I know it all and can fix everything right. Lol. But I told her I am doing it to be a better me and did not think it was a big deal. Mind you, she was barely talking to me several weeks ago, and as I stated on prior post, didn't even ask about the results of some serious medical test I had. I get the transparency thing, but man. Also, I had asked her if she wanted to go for joint counseling a while back or get a book and practice some exercises. Nope, she wasn't ready. I don't get it. Frustrated. Admitting that I need help is, to be honest, embarrassing for me and just hard to even say. Everything I do, for lack of better words, has manliness or being tough deeply entrenched in it, especially with the fire service. If anything, I would have thought she would have said, wow, that is great and a big step for you. Proud. Really shows you are trying. Wish you would have told me sooner, but instead, I got some serious grief, but I didn't get pissed and blast her as I normally would have. Remained calm and said I didn't think me bettering myself was something to get upset over, and besides she would see it on the bill, so I am telling her. Really tough to be calm at the moment, but I will stay the course. Let it go. do something active to take my mind off of it, or start drinking at 10 a.m. Her negative reaction was due to the surprise or shock of it, totally out of character for me, the loss of control, and the fact that maybe she feels like crap as she has done nothing to address her issues, and I, once again, made her feel bad. You see, she never admits that she is wrong or says she is sorry, ever. My kids get on her about that as well. Through this whole thing lately, I have been taking the path that when she is at her worst, I am at my best. Hence, as she is somewhat incapacitated lately, even though she gave me crap yesterday, I had partially prepared breakfast for her when she got back from the gym, as she needs help with some things. Just the right thing to do. I think she is just feeling really bad about her own actions, or lack thereof, and the wall is starting to crumble. We have really decent conversations now without jabbing one another, and my daughters are closer to me than ever. She is really starting to see what I am, I believe, and starting to feel bad about her own actions and coldness. It is hard to say here without outing me too much, but a lot has happened in our community lately with regards to firefighting and recognition on my part. Her reaction was, "What do I get for having to deal with it?" Almost quote unquote, instead of, "Hey, I am proud of you." I don't think she wants to admit that she does have it really good. And when everyone else says you are so lucky on so many fronts, it is hard to not point the finger inward. Last night was a typical example of what I was saying, though, about common courtesy. She got loaded and broke a glass jar in the kitchen. Shards of glass all over the tile floor, and she was in bare feet. Me too, and still incapacitated from surgery, so needs help anyways, which she refuses most times from everyone. As she was loaded and about to go to bed, she got pissed and was going to clean it up half-wow, which if I did, she would have flipped. So, I said hold on, got on my knees, and started to clean it up with her, moving objects on floor, furniture, etc. Then she starts growling, grumbling. A few directed at me as I was in her way, as she was now trying to vacuum. So, as she goes to bed, I call her out and say, "I know you are in pain, but I was trying to help you and you didn't even say thank you. Just growling at people." Then she says that she didn't growl and whatever, she sucks and throws her hands in the air. Typical. No sorry. Yes, my level of expectations regarding respect are too high, but I always say please and thanks for most everything. And to note, I kept my temper in check, as before I would have blown up while we were cleaning up about the crap I was getting and called out that I was helping her and didn't need that BS. I don't take crap from people unless I absolutely have to. You ask anyone and I would always say my wife is awesome and I am really lucky to have her, which is totally true. I think the negative reaction to counseling comes from what you mentioned above, about sharing information, but also the fact that they are upset that you are making yourself better and ruining their story. How can they be so mad at you if are really trying to help yourself and be better? And in turn too, they reflect on their own issues and how they are acting poorly if they are not helping themselves in any way, books, counseling, wed community, etc. And they are now the bad guy because they are also not working on the relationship. As far as drinking, alcohol is proof that God wants us to be happy. So, not keeping my head in the sand and still doing what I need to do. With that being said though, I have changed bad behaviors and things are pretty awesome around the house except for our relationship. My kids are so happy and attached to me more than ever. They are also unprompted being defensive of me and really pressuring the wife to be lovey as they think I am great. I am trying to stay out of telling them what to do or anything, as she was concerned that I was influencing them and helping them take sides. So, she has been saying she can't sleep for some time, but it is normal for her. But the other day, after the night before my little one told her to hug and kiss me, she says she can't sleep as she has anxiety over us. Assuming she isn't participating in bad behavior, what are the stages of repairing the relationship? Like, is it normally that the wall just cracks at once or small improvements over time? Just wanted to get your insights on what the process looks like and what I should expect. Yesterday was a really tough day. My kids had picked up on mommy not wanting to hug or kiss me lately, so I had been speaking to them, especially my little one, about mommy not being happy with me, caused partially by me, and that they shouldn't pressure her. So, I guess my littlest got upset while I was out one day and the wife flipped on me. Said I make her look bad, can't trust me. She went on a tirade and said that we should have done counseling together. I didn't tell her about results of my medical tests. Just went off. But I explained that I asked about joint counseling and she declined, so I didn't press. Told her I went for tests, but she never asked again. Then later in the day and this morning we are all good. Played family games last night. Look, I honestly think she is a good egg and hasn't done anything wrong. The times when she blows up are less frequent, but they are still strong. For the men and women who have come back from this and been able to repair, can you tell me what it looks like on the journey? I am admittedly just shattered inside right now and doing everything to keep it together. So depressed, really trying hard to crack a smile, laugh, and feel confident that it will work out. Almost a year later, well, not good. My wife continued on a downward spiral. It led to me having to save my children. I won't get into it on here due to legal issues, but it was very bad. Their lives were in danger. There has been poor behavior and other things. Finally, not too long ago, she gave them a cell phone to play with and all things were revealed. I fought hard to save the marriage, but I have my limits and we are proceeding with divorce. The thing is though that the kids know of her extramarital affair and I struggle as she does not know that they know. They want to tell her as they are so very hurt and angry, but I told them to wait for now until maybe I get some professional advice. Anyone else ever been in this situation? I tried hard to save our marriage but ultimately could not. I agree that the children should know what is up, should know who initiated action. My wife filed after her family confronted her about her behavior and understand that things aren't normal. It has been a long hard road and it is only going to get tougher as our family was really close, really tight. She was a great loving woman. I don't know her anymore. I would get into details but not sure if she is on this board. Needless to say, if I went down the list of things one does during a midlife crisis, she hit 9 out of 10. When she asked to separate, I was eventually like, okay, what's the plan as we can't just afford 2 houses. Silence. Then she asked for legal separation and I asked to fill out the net worth statements together so we agree and talk custody. Silence. Then she filed for divorce and I had to force her to fill out the net worth statement and get a date. Still silence. I think she wanted to have her cake and eat it too, or she really is mentally ill, which I believe is the case. I mean, I and the kids have seen her at times sitting alone staring angrily into space. She even scared her own family with her behavior. Of course, it was my fault though as I was preventing separation. You see, despite me being domesticated I lead everything and she wanted me, it appears, to plan out the separation details. No way. I told her you want it then you come to me with some thoughts and I will tell you if I agree. Also, I told her to get a job as money doesn't grow on trees. I had it all in emails and showed her family. She did nothing as she can't handle stress well and she lives a nice life. I started to work on me and got a coach. I got ripped for going to counseling even though I asked her to go and she refused. I could have sunk so deep with her drinking, meds, tattoos, new car and now affair. I am a better me now and will be even better for the next woman in my life. Just having a tough time lately getting past the gaslighting. I mean, I was hit with everything when she asked for separation. 17 years of misery, emotionally abusive, narcissist, controlling, jealous, perfectionist, angry all of the time, liar, manipulative and finally too perfect. Then when I caught her extramarital activities, I deserved it of course and she tried to lie about the timing and say it was after she filed for divorce, which is bull. Just curious how people on here got past the self-blame and guilt of it all. Anyways, mornings always seem to be the worst. Just get that feeling that no one will want you even though I honestly have women calling me. Just can't shake it. Too fresh as I guess as it has only been a little over 2 weeks. Funny with head out of my bottom. I am doing my thing now and give no quarter on anything. Go as I please and have some friends. I just have to live in the same house with her until this is over and it sucks. She is totally dragging her feet after screaming at me how she wants a divorce so fast and can't stand the sight of my face. She actually filed for divorce but I had to force her legally to submit paperwork and for her to set a pretrial conference date. Just to fill in some blanks, I almost caught her cheating but had the kids with me so stopped. She cracked under pressure and flipped out and scared her family and the kids. Her family confronted her and wanted to do an intervention. She flipped again and filed for divorce. Then weeks later I found evidence and she was like that was after I filed so it is fine. Not according to the dates. And even funnier is I said okay then you don't mind if I talk to your brother about it do you? No, she minded. Just lost in self-blame lately as the pretrial conference approaches. I am not perfect and I used to have a short fuse but I did everything to be perfect. I did laundry, dishes every night, cleaned bathrooms, landscaping, bottles, diapers, food shopping every week. I did all I could to help and she was a stay-at-home mom. I didn't get up past midnight unless it was an emergency as I had to work. Anyways, I did all this as every time I asked what the problem was, why she was so blah, it was that she was exhausted. I worked hard and made it to near the top so money is not an issue. Yet, I could not pull her out of whatever was going on. We lost a son with a late-term abortion due to a fatal genetic issue and then about 3 years later she lost her mom who was her best and only friend. I couldn't turn the tide. I let her buy whatever she wanted to make her happy but, in the end, she did lose herself and I can't find her for her. I blame me even though I know it is not really me. She had her hobbies, 2 gym memberships, a home gym, whatever but it was not enough. I told her I loved her every day. She is just lost and I can't see her hand to grab her and bring her back. If she reached her hand out now, I would not grab it sadly. Being a volunteer fireman, I am inclined to save people, it is my nature. When she said she was sick and had issues I did anything to try and save her. I also did anything to try and save my marriage. But you are right in that I have to focus on me. When I went to my psychiatrist and even in all my other activities, I always ask how I can be better or what am I doing wrong. It was hard to pin down problems in our relationship as she threw the book at me and I was everything. However, I took an honest look at myself and worked on my problems for over a year now. The validation that the work I am doing is actually bearing fruit comes from my children. They have said how great a father I have become. They said I was good before but now I am even better. I'm going to keep my eyes out for that next person, for that person that will put their arm around me after an horrific call and say, "Are you okay? Do you want some breakfast?" It's really the simple things I want, and it is the simple things that I have been missing for a long time. Oh, I have a game plan. No worries on that. Court date is coming. That breakfast comment was a true story. I came home from a really bad call and personally saved 2 people in a horrific situation. It was very early in the morning, and when I came home everyone was asleep. I just sat in my kitchen for a while, kind of stunned and taking everything in. I had just fought to save someone's life for about half an hour and spoke with them the whole time and was a little stunned. I told my kids when they woke up what happened, and I told my wife. I had expected when kids' reaction, which was fine, but my wife was indifferent. Not that I want someone to jump up and down and see what hero I was. I was just visibly different, and it would have been nice to just have her ask if I was okay. Instead, I just sucked it up and, in a few hours, we drove away for vacation, and that was that. And for the record, I threw her out twice, but she won't leave despite how she repeatedly says that she can't stand to see my face, and I think I am handsome. She can stay with her family a few nights a week, which I suggested, but no. Crazy. Well, I pushed, and the court date is this week for the first conference. I don't anticipate this going well, as I asked a ton of times for us to sit and talk about what we both want and agree prior. She never did or wanted to. Never replied to my messages. So, of course, we will not agree and now have to argue using lawyers. No good. Not looking forward to it. Comments. You are a hero, and you deserve a woman who will recognize and appreciate it. You are a strong person, and you will survive this. And I think once you work through all this muck, you will thrive. It will all get easier when you can get her out of your house. It seems ludicrous to me that she is so insistent on staying in the house. Just illogical. My comment, STBX is not happy that she can't eat her cake and get away with it. Now she realized she chose her affair instead of a comfortable home. She chose a dark path, and there's no way of going back. Subscribe if you enjoyed this short one, and I got one more coming in the afternoon.